Well, hey, how y'all doing? Derby Jack here. Hey, listen. I don't know what to tell you, but you need to listen up. I mean, because the aliens are coming. That Atlas 3D, whatever the heck that thing is, it's on its way. Now, maybe what we need to do is get ourselves a superhero. Maybe that's what we need is a superhero to protect us from the aliens that are coming. Yeah, no, we can't get. Bruce Willis is out because he's got Alzheimer's. We can't get him. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's too old and woke. And who else? Rocky or what's a, I don't think he's ever done a movie in space. But even if we get the DC comic guys, you know, the movie, these guys they're skinnier than I am, and they put padding on them to make them look like. So where are we going to find a hero? We need someone to go out there and take care of the threat. So America and the world will be safe, but we need to save the world from these aliens. You know I'm joking, right? Y'all know that I'm making a. What did Trump say when he was on the plane about he couldn't learn his way? I'm making a fun, a cute. I'm just being cute. Listen, folks, there's nothing coming. I know this is hard. There's nothing up there that's coming. Only time anything's going to be really coming is in the end when it's all over and the sky opens up. What you think you see up there, I don't care your telescopes, all your and your NASA, and you've been studying NASA, and you believe in the moon rocket. People. God's word tells us several times throughout the Old Testament to the New Testament, circle is not a ball. Wake up. Human monkeys, wake up. If you're a Christian, you shouldn't be thinking like a human monkey, okay? Because they're still evolving, or they think they are. They're still evolving. They haven't come up to they think. And I've told you, you can't have evolution anyway, because evolution doesn't exist. And the proof is, which came first? Did the brain grow big and all of a sudden you were able to make a spear and learn? No, you had to learn. Somebody had to teach you. Evolution's bullshit. Anyway, insane. Forgive me for swearing again, but it was appropriate. Listen, folks, what's really tearing me off is this thing with Trump. Do you know that I've heard that people say, well, other presidents have done things and they've, cool and fine. I understand that, but yet he's doing it during a time that is really ridiculous. And here's the thing, people. I've seen all you people out there. Here's another thing. I got to tell you, if you're a Republican who don't want to vote the next time for Republicans, and do not turn coat and be a Democrat either. They both work together against you and me. So if you think by changing to the other side, and if you have children, you change to that side, then you're supporting the other side of perverts who like to rape children and stuff. The other side, the Republicans, they're rapists too, and they're children molesters too, but they're up and they don't let people think they are. You see, you think that the right would be the right as the left would be the wrong, but right is wrong. And a lot of you people, you're good people out there. A lot of you people vote, you're good citizens, you're good. That's the problem. You're going to end up being good citizens. And when you hear that phrase, you think of China. I'm telling you, all you good people, your lives are being stolen. And here's what's really being stolen from you. All you people who believe in Trump and believe in government, and you still trust, your souls are being taken. Your soul is being stolen from you. It's being stolen from God. And yet, a lot of you, you're still believing. I have another problem. The word democracy is a con. I hate when they throw democracy around because they front it in front of freedom. Take your democracy and shove it. I want my freedom. They both don't exist together because democracy always has a clause to it. Who is in control of your democracy? So it's either going to be the left or the right. I don't go there. I'm neutral. I don't trust the left. I don't trust the right. And here's the thing they don't like. They don't like people like us because we do not trust one or the other. They need us to trust on the left or the right. And if we don't, then we're dangerous because we're telling people, screw the government. We don't want the government. Of course, that makes us hateful of America, and that's another thing. Like they use the word democracy, fronting it in front of freedoms. They use the word America as a threat to a person that does not agree. Do you see how simple all this is? And you need to start thinking a little bit more simple. Don't be simple-minded, which is what they want. But at least be assertive in thinking for yourself. Just because Trump says doesn't mean it's right. Now, all you people who, I've known that there's people out there say, oh, great, he's going to build this 999 people can sit upside down, 666. But here's the thing. What kind of people does he want to bring in? I've already heard him say it. It will be for dignitaries of other countries. So the whole point of a ballroom is to support, is a support of our, of I don't know what. Do we have a ballroom for ego sake? Is that what this is all about? Trump's ballroom is for ego's sake? You know, the problem with ego usually goes before the brain functions. Pride usually goes before the brain functions. Before the brain is capable of working, the angry, prideful arrogance sometimes has no harness. And it's out there like, a horse that runs away. Sometimes your arrogancy gets in front of you. Many of y'all out there have been dealing with this. Are you proud of an arrogant SOB of a president? I don't know how you would be. I've seen both sides. Throughout my years, I've seen both sides. Never voted, but seen both sides. I've never been impressed with either side. Now, there was a time I was a Trump supporter because I thought Trump, but then I started realizing something's wrong with Trump. It was only for about the first year but then I started seeing stuff, and it just didn't make sense. But I still didn't agree with the president. I don't agree with our government. I don't agree that our government is working properly. And if there is a Bill of Rights and a Constitution, the government structure doesn't work according to these articles. So, meaning that you have articles, the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, that does not work for this so-called United States. No longer. It never did and never will. And now it's being uprooted, meaning that the Constitution, you need to understand right now, under Trump or under the Democrats, the Constitution does not work. And the Bill of Rights no longer exists. They're there to make you think but they're not. If they're able to come in search and seizure without any court order, there goes your Bill of Rights. Okay, there goes your Constitution. They're able to take away your guns, and you're not able. There you go, your amendments. You don't have. They take away your availability to speak and be able to spread news. There you go. Tell me something. What good is democracy? Think about that. You all talk of democracy. I always hear people, democracy, 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 democracy. What good is it? And like I said, do you understand that when God gave us freedom, that was it. There was no words in front of it, no words, freedom of choice. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You have the choice to do whatever the hell you want to do. But Your choices are going to have repercussions. But still here, they put these words and you're not paying attention. There's a prerequisite to your freedom. That is, whoever is in control at that time is in control of your freedom, because that's the democracy. So that's what I'm saying. You guys have all these fancy words you like to use, but I'm tearing the words apart. The words mean no. It's like a new word that I've made up, and it's called excusogenics. There's so many people who use excusogenics for everything. An excuse here, an excuse there, an excuse here, an excuse there. And yet, okay, all these excuses and never any truth. Okay, so yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny. I've been hearing about this Atlas thing, and there's a guy, some Jewish guy who's part of the cabal, and all that other stuff, who's bringing all this stuff out. They want you to concentrate on space, which doesn't exist. They want you to concentrate on all this other crap that doesn't exist. And let me ask you a question. If there were aliens, and let's get away from science fiction. Let's get away from all this science fiction like Star Trek and stuff. Here's the thing, people. If aliens were to come close to this so-called planet, if it was real and space was real, if there was really a life in a vacuum, okay? If this was all real, okay, then if I was an alien who had super intelligence, that I'd look at the planet Earth and sit here and say, well, look at these cave people. They're still working on electricity grid and oil. What would I do with them? What would be the purpose of coming and visiting them? They're a backwards race. And here's the thing. Haven't we, on our science fiction movies, let's go back to science fiction, the Star Trek, we didn't get involved. They have some type of a law that they have, right? We don't get involved. We sit back and we monitor. And we see, maybe we learn a little bit about ourselves by seeing how they, all this, it doesn't exist. None of this exists, okay? It's not real. Now we get away from science fiction. Truth of the matter is, why would, in all reality, a super intelligent race of individuals want to come here? What would they, and if they're so intelligent and they got this stuff to go through space and stuff and ships and stuff, what did they need us for? We don't need us. They wouldn't need us as slaves or anything like that. And probably they created their own foods like we're creating foods ourselves, so they wouldn't have to eat humans. Too much, like I said, a lot of you have been watching too much science fiction stuff. I love science fiction. I think it's funny. I get a load of some of the stories, but I don't believe in it. So all of this stuff is going, like I said, think about it. If there were aliens, here's the thing, if it was true, they'd probably just go right past us. And probably put a marker there saying, backwards world, we don't want nothing to do with it. Don't come here. Really. So I'm just saying, let's get logical, people. Oh, but there's still got to be life out there. It doesn't exist. You know what the firmament really is? It says it's in the Bible. It says it's hard as glass. I believe that in the heavens, it's sort of a spiritual thing that we're looking at. We don't even realize it. At night, when we're seeing the stars and stuff, you ever seen Jell-O? Like a big chunk of Jell-O, and you got the grapes and little and all pieces of, and you're all throughout, and it's like three-dimensional. That's what you're seeing. That's what you're seeing. So they may be going up there in an area where they might have their little space station. I don't think it is, but if they did, it'd be up there. Maybe they have it on balloons that we can't see. I don't know. But they got it up there. And if it's up there, that's as far as it's going to go. That's why they can't go anywhere. That's why we haven't gone to the moon before. And this moon trip that they're planning, you know what's on. Come on. But I hate to tell y'all, I hate to say it, all you astronauts, future astronauts, hate to say it, you ain't gonna go. Doesn't exist. And I'm making fun of you because you need to make fun of yourself. And it's time to make fun of NASA. NASA. I know, not a space agency. Isn't it funny? NASA, top. Or viper, or whatever you want to say. It's a tongue across NASA. It's a lie from a snake. So anyway, isn't it good to be a Christian? Isn't it good to have knowledge beyond the physical world? It's good. I'm so blessed that God downloads knowledge. Not only me, but a lot of people out there. A lot of people are very knowledgeable. Becoming untangled with the bull crap of the world. See, I'm sick of systems of the world. I'm sick of these haughty pieces of works, okay, that are out there, these flesh bags. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of my freedoms and your freedoms being taken away from us. But what I'm really tired of are you people who stay ignorant. And you stay ignorant purposely. You're the problem because you won't grow up. You're the problem because you won't wake up. You're the problem because you're selfish. And you're the problem because you believe in man more than you believe in God. Now, whether you're a Christian or not, and I hope I'm speaking to Christians, supposedly, if God is not your provider, then the world is your oyster. If God is not your first love, then the world must be. If God is the last person or the last, you're in trouble, and God is the last you want to go to, then instead of first, we want to go to everybody else instead of God to help us, then you don't know. You're ignorant by choice. Okay? So, I would like to state this. I've been praying for men of God to rise up. I've been praying for men of God to be knocked on their ass by God and to raise them up again to be men of God. A lot of them went in for the right purposes. Somewhere along the line, they got lost. Even in their own church. They got lost when the messages started to get blurry. They got lost when many of their parishioners off and on came and went. Some of them died. And a lot of churches that are filled with bodies are empty with spirit. This is what's important, not the bullcrap of the world. As much as I hate to say it, I hold no stock in the White House. It means nothing to me. But it's this principle of the thing. If the White House, if you are a true red-blooded American and you believe in government, this should appall you. It only appalls me in one way, because many of you it doesn't appall. And it appalls me in another way, that many of you don't speak up against it. And here's the thing. What really gets my goat is that there are no people in Washington who are part of the cabinet or anything have any balls to do anything about it. If you really want to save your so-called republic or democracy or whatever that's another word, republic, just like democracy. If you want to save all this stuff, then you need to rise up against it. But you can't. But I say rise up against it. I don't mean go out and do an insurrection. You need to rise up against it because it's all going to come. And you got to be strong enough to be able to rise against it. Look, I don't mean to scare many of you, but if everything were to happen right now, and they decided to come after us, okay, let me tell you something. It'll get ugly. And if many of you are not prepared in the spirit, you are going to be lost in the natural system of the world. You're going to be lost in the death of the world. Don't be lost. Do you know that if you're a Christian and you have the Spirit of Christ in you, you have a room ready for you in a mansion with all kinds of treasures that we can't even physically imagine. And that's what's important, not this. This is finite. This is like a blink of an eye. Your life began and it's over. 70 years if you're lucky, it's over. What's tricky is how you left. Did you leave with a spirit? And did you leave when the Spirit took your soul up? Or did you die with no spirit protecting the soul, and the soul went down? Tell you people, man, it's you know, I sat here last night thinking I must look silly out here. I watch myself. I just see what I say, and sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying because the Spirit takes over. But I know that there's people who watch me who don't say a word. And I've said this before. I got people. Nobody's my last video. Maybe one person said something. Nobody says something. I asked a question, and if anybody finds it and they let me know, I may be considering dropping Derby Jack Ministry, only because I can't grow, and stay with the music program and stay with my music. Maybe I'll grow in my music, and I can give the message musically, because this doesn't seem to be working anymore. So, and there's a sadness to it. I haven't decided yet, but it may be coming. There's a sadness to it, but you know what? I'm tired of being challenged in respect to the negative of it all. And no matter how much I try in my heart to bring a message that hopefully will change somebody's course and help them recognize that this is not all there is, and that they want salvation. That's my only heart. That's what my heart wants. I don't care about me. I really don't. I'm the type of person, I would give up my life for somebody else. I don't care. It depends on the person, of course. But I mean, I have to be a perspective. I'm not going to sit here and save somebody who's trying to kill me. You know, I'm saying, but if in a circumstance, whatever it is, I would try. I would do everything I can. And if I lose my life in the process, then it was a good thing. But at the same time, I want to be a living epistle. I want to be a living example. But either example, it depends on how you're doing it. If I do it and I die in faith, then I did what I was supposed to do well. And I did what I was supposed to do under God and in the authority of God. Now, if I die outside of God, that's my fate. And there ain't no coming back. So, I don't know if any of this makes any sense to you. Sometimes I talk and things, I get into different areas, and when I'm not totally focused. And anyway, pray for people that need to be prayed for. And be ready, because anything can happen. I've been watching some videos of some stuff about this one guy who went out, I think it's in Arizona or someplace, where he found this old prison out in the middle of the desert, but there's some stuff going on. They got all kinds of real expensive, millions of dollars of drone stuff that go in boxes, and then they got, you know, all this high-tech weather modification, weather tracking system, and all of this stuff in an old, empty, out of nowhere place. An old town no longer exists. So anyway, isn't it funny? There's a lot of places like that around. It was an old mining town, I think, coal mine or something. But hey, man, You know, these things are out there. These places are out there. I don't know whether it's government, because everything looked kind of chintzy, as if, you know, it was just put together. But a lot of times it could be government, because I can't believe that there'd be somebody over here doing something that the government would not know. They had a Starlink, $1 million contraption for Starlink, so they were into something. And they probably have places like this all over the country, ready for the things that many of you don't even believe that are going to happen. You know, there's many people out there, you conspiracy theorists, this ain't the end of the world, this ain't the end of the country. Poor human monkey thing. Poor human monkey thing. Stop thinking like a human monkey. Stop evolving. It's time to be a created creature and become a son of God or a child of God. Not to be a human chimpanzee. Stop it. Grow up. Become a child of man. Become a child of God. So anyway, I'll put a song on the end of this. And remember, for any of you, push my channel, my music channel. For any of you who never heard my music channel, Derby Jack Christian Blues, YouTube. So anyway, Heavenly Father, I thank you right now for your word. I thank you right now for working mightily within me to do of your will and pleasure. Thank you right now for the ears to hear and the hearts to receive. In the name of Christ I pray. Amen and amen. Love y'all. Derby Jack out, and hope to see you all on the other side. Time of confusion, living in a time of fear, living in a time of division. Do you have a key? Living in a world of deception, living in a world of pain, living in a world of derision. Stay the same. You gotta find peace in the love. Gotta find peace in the love. You gotta find a place to hide. Gotta find the power to rise and shine. You gotta find peace in the love. Gotta find peace in the love. Living in a world of sorrow, living in a world of fear, living in a world of unknowns, no longer know how to Living in a time that's unstable, in a world that may be crumbling away. You gotta find peace in love. Gotta find peace in love. You gotta find the strength to find it. Gotta receive the wisdom inside. You gotta find peace in love. Gotta find peace.